Hi, I'm Sherry and this is Gardening in the North. And today we're starting to build our chicken coop and run. The floor plan for our chicken coop was purchased off of Etsy, and this is what it's going to look like. So it's going to be really cute. It's 5x6. It can house anywhere from 10 to 12 chickens. So we are going to decide in March, or I guess I should say in January, I have to put my pre-order in on how many we want. Currently, I have narrowed it down to 9 breeds. So 9 breeds. So it sounds a little bit funny because I looked at about 40 breeds. There is a place about 45 minutes from us that has many different breeds. And so I went online, did a bunch of research on, you know, how many eggs they produce, the color they produce, whether or not they're hardy, if they're aggressive, if they're broody, and then made my list, and I've narrowed it down to 9. I wanted to be able to give you a good viewpoint of where we're going to be putting the chicken coop and run. So on the left hand side, you can see that that is the beginning of our food forest. And on the right hand side is where the chicken coop and run are going to be. Now, just to give you an idea in relation to the house, it's actually going to be fairly close to the front door, which we don't use. So it is freezing out there. We have all 4 walls done on the chicken coop and it's looking pretty cool. I will say that having floor plans and already, you know, all the cuts that need to be done to the wood are listed on each page. The plans that we bought from Etsy came as a PDF, a downloaded PDF, 32 pages. It's pretty amazing. So far, all of the measurement cuts that we've done have been exactly perfect. We haven't had to finesse or change anything to it. I would highly recommend this floor plan to anyone that is looking for a chicken coop and doesn't necessarily want to put the time into designing it, but has the ability to build it. I will put the link down below to the exact one that we got in case you're interested. So I thought I'd come in since it's pretty cold out there and my camera had died and I had to put it on charge, and thought that I'd warm up my hands and talk about why we chose the location for the chicken coop and run that we did. So some people might think it's a little bit weird that we've actually put it in our front yard, but Our front yard is very, very private, and it's very large. We're on 3.5 acres here, and we can't even see the road that is in front of our house that you use to get to our driveway. So for us, we didn't think it was very weird at all. Now, I will tell you that there has been a process for us to get to this decision to put it where we put it. Originally, I wanted to put the chicken coop and run in the backyard, down along the tree lines under our gorgeous black walnut tree. I thought that it would provide the chickens some shade. It would also look really cute back there. My husband quickly reminded me that we have to go out to the coop every day. And in the winter time, you know, having to trek 300 feet there and back in snow may not be ideal. So we kind of wiped that idea off the list. My husband thought that maybe we could put the chicken coop at the end of our driveway. So when you drive down our driveway and you park there to come into the house, there is a nice large area that we could have put it. The previous owners that were here had a dog run there, and we've torn that down, and really it's just open space with grass and whatnot, so we could put it there. My only concern about that is that the chickens may get a little bit stressed when cars are driving down or kids are out there playing. And my son plays hockey, so he's out on the driveway a lot shooting pucks. And if you watched any of my other videos, you might hear him shooting them in the background. And I just thought that that might actually cause the chickens a little bit of stress as well. So we wiped that one off the list. And then we thought, you know what? Why not put it in the front? Why not put it somewhere where we have full access to it? It's basically 20 feet from the front door. It'd be really nice to be able to see them while we're sitting in the living room. And really, we're making this really cute little coop. We're going to paint it the same color as the siding on our house. So it's not going to be an eyesore in our front lawn when people drive down our driveway. So the other reason that we thought where we're putting it in the front yard would be really good is because there isn't full sun out there. There is partial sun, partial shade, depending on the time of day. So the sun comes up in the east, and once it gets to the south of our house, that area there gets a little bit more shade because we have a lot of trees that are right in front of our property. And so that would allow the chickens to have some shade. And then when the sun gets to the west side of our property, they would then have more sun. So we are going to build our run with a roof, and hopefully the design that we're going to do for it will allow for us to have a permanent roof structure on it, so that, you know, when the chickens are out there, if they need shade during those sun periods, they can go under the coop because we've raised it up about 22 inches. And if they don't want the shade at that time, they can come out into the run, and that structure that we're going to be building above them will provide them a little bit more cover. I also think it's a good idea in the winter time, so that when we actually wrap that run in plastic to protect the chickens while they're out there, they'll have that nice hard roof that will protect them from the snow as well. Keeping true to Canadian weather, in the past 5 days, we have gone from sunny skies and a high of 15 to 16 to torrential downpours, to tornado winds, to power outages, to snow on the ground, to more rain, freezing temperatures. Yesterday, we had -1 temperatures. Today, we have a high of 11. Amazing. I can't get over in the past 5 days what our temperatures here in Ontario, Canada have been. Having said that, we need to utilize the days where the weather is really nice. I just got home from work, and to my surprise, behind me here, you can see that our chicken coop now has shingles on the roof. Super happy about that. So I'm gonna head inside, get changed, and I'm gonna come back outside and start painting the inside of our coop. It has been another super cold Canadian day. We're done for the day. I am happy to say that we have been working really hard this past week, and our chicken coop is at about 75% done. So a couple of the things that are still outstanding are the main door. We need to paint and install it. We're waiting on the automatic door opener for the chickens to arrive, and then we'll install that. The 2 air vents and the trim on the outside. Other than that, this coop is ready to go. Take a look at the perches behind me, the cute little windows. Everything's been painted white in here. It just looks super cute. So I want to take you outside and kind of show you a couple things that we've done, a little different than the plan called for. But before I do that, I really want to talk about chicken math. I'm not sure that I quite understood what chicken math meant, and I had heard other people talk about it, and I just didn't quite get it until now. So when we started initially talking about getting chickens, we talked about getting 4. You know, the research that we did, we realized that 4 chickens for our family of 5 would be perfect. Really, only my husband and I eat eggs, so in every way that you can make them. My older son will eat scrambled eggs if we make bacon and eggs for a meal, but my daughter and my younger son won't touch them. Now, they will eat any like baked goods that we make that have eggs in them. They'll eat that. So 4 chickens for a family of 5, where really only 2 people eat eggs, is perfect. Except that as soon as you make the decision to get chickens, you start researching, and what do you need, and what do you need to feed them, and oh, it's weeks of squirreling around trying to figure out what you need to do. And in doing so, you realize that quite often you have a chick that isn't going to make it to adult stage where they're going to start laying eggs for you. And as soon as I heard, or as soon as I read that, I kind of went, oh, we better get 6 chickens. So the plan was we were going to get 6 chickens. And in the event that something happened to 1 or 2 of them, we still had the 4 chickens that we really did want to have. Except that, you know, as I did some research, and I kind of mentioned this earlier in the video, that I had narrowed down the number of breeds that we wanted to 9. Well, we're only getting 6 chickens, and there are 9 breeds that I want. And I kind of said to myself, well, what's an extra 3 really? If we get the extra and we get 1 of each breed that I want to get anyways, then maybe we can sell some of the eggs, and that will offset some of the cost of feeding them. Perfect. So we go ahead and, you know, we had ordered this chicken coop. Max that you really should have in it is 12 if you're going by the square footage guidelines. So they say that each chicken should have approximately 2 to 3 square feet of space per chicken in the coop. So in this coop right now, we can fit 12 chickens. And so when I told my husband that we were going to get 9, 1 of each breed, and then we started talking about it, and we had gotten this coop, and we said, well, why don't we just get 12? So now we have a coop that fits 12 chickens, and in about a month, about 6 weeks, I'm going to be ordering 12 chickens. And then I start thinking about it this morning, and I start thinking about the fact that we're going to be getting a flock of 12 chickens, which is perfect. They'll fit in this coop, except that means that they're all going to probably stop laying around the same time, which means that we're going to have a flock of chickens that potentially at some point aren't going to be laying eggs. So maybe we need a second coop. So I haven't told my husband that part yet, but thank goodness that we have floor plans for a really cool coop. And that's our chicken math. Here's a look at the coop without the door and the trim. I think it turned out pretty cute. So again, we've painted it to match the house. And beside it here, we have the posts. We installed the post today for the run. So the next day that we have nice weather, we will be back out here building that run so that we can get everything up and going so that in the springtime we're ready. One thing I want to mention here is you'll see that we've raised the chicken coop off the ground. A couple reasons we did that. One being we wanted to give the chickens some extra shaded area so that they could go under there. That's where we'll probably keep their food as well. And we also wanted to keep rodents away. So if the chickens can fit under there and use that space, that means that the rodents won't be, hopefully, fingers crossed. The other reason that we did it is so that I can pull the wagon up to the main door here, and I can just pull all of the wood shavings and manure out into a wagon or a wheelbarrow and pull it away to the compost area. Nice and easy. The other thing I want to point out that we did inside is we put linoleum on the floor. So we put linoleum on the floor so that we could easily clean it out. Make sure that the coop is always nice and clean, which means that it decreases the potential chance for lice and mites. So we just want to make sure. And we even put some of it in the nesting boxes. And so we have 3 roosts, which means that 4 chickens per roost. We did 2 of them are 2x3s, and the one in the back there is a 2x4. And that's it. One of the things that I wanted to mention is that we will be adding half-inch hardware cloth along the whole bottom of this coop, as well as in the chicken run. We're also going to be putting half-inch hardware cloth on the outside of the coop around the windows, just to make sure that when we open those windows and to allow some airflow into here in the summertime, that those screens can't be pushed in. Thanks for spending your time with us. We've really enjoyed building our first chicken coop.